Hello and welcome to the Two Track Mind YouTube feed. I'm Edward, I'm one of the hosts of the Two Track Mind podcast. You can find the podcast by searching us on all good podcast platforms. We're everywhere. The issue with a podcast is there's not a lot of visuals, so to show off some of the albums we're talking about in the podcast, we thought we'd bring that to YouTube. In this first ever YouTube video, I want to discuss the new album from Less Than Jake, Silver Linings, which unfortunately I've had to take out of the protective sleeve so you can see how shiny it is. Silver Linings, a sign of hope or a positive aspect in an otherwise negative situation. So for this Less Than Jake album to drop on the 11th of December at the end of 2020 seemed very apt. Maybe it was just what we were all looking for. Liam and I go in depth on what we think of the tracks individually in our podcast. So maybe go back and check out that before you hear what I've got to say. Because what I want to discuss is the vinyl release itself. The artwork was designed by Peter Wonzowski. I hope I'm saying that right. He's worked with Less Than Jake on lots of occasions, including the Anthem artwork, the Greased artwork, and he even designed Evo Kid. I think this is awesome, really, really cool. I love the colours, I love all the little details, and I'll go into them now. The band as of yet haven't commented on what the sleeve means, which means it's open to interpretation. If we flip it over, so it's upside down, you get this sort of depiction of hell, chaos. It's menacing in the way it looks, but then if you flip it back over, so it's upright, you get the instruments and the band as such, as it's portrayed, coming out of the dark and into the light. I think it's really cool, especially the way it links with the Silver Linings title. One of the things I've always loved about Less Than Jake is the font. The fact the band have kept that same band logo for as long as I can remember. I used to draw it on my backpack, on jeans, on my denim jacket. I used to Tipp-Ex it anywhere and everywhere. And it's stayed the same, and I think it's great. What I really like, which I'm afraid you won't probably get in the video, is the silver linings, and these silver lines are actually engraved or debossed into the sleeve itself, and that continues onto the back. The album itself fits perfectly onto a 12-inch record. It didn't need to be double, it would have been overstretched. You get 6 tracks on side A and 6 tracks on side B. And what I was saying about the silver being engraved onto the sleeve, it just adds something, and it's, I don't know if you'll get that, it's a bit shiny, isn't it? If I put this down 1 second and grab the record itself, I'm not wearing white gloves, but it is my vinyl that I bought, so please forgive me. I went for the red and black yellow spinner with the black and silver splatter. I've just read that, if you saw my eyes leave the gaze. It's awesome, isn't it? It's a thick vinyl. I think it's probably about 140 grams. I can only guess that. But yeah, there was 5 or 6 variants. They should be here. This one is a UK release and it's limited to 400, so it's pretty rare, I suppose, or at least it will be in a few years. Some of the other features are an inner sleeve with the lyrics on, which is pretty old school actually, because not a lot of people are doing the lyric sheet now, but I quite like that because occasionally I will sit down and read the lyrics. Oh, more years with little meaning, fractions of my life repeating. Nice. For me, when a band has that much say in the vinyl release by choosing 6 variants, choosing the artist, it means they care. And so often in modern releases, you get a black plain vinyl, which actually does suit some releases. But I quite like a variant. I quite like a release. I know that Liam has bought 3 different versions of it. So I think it just adds a little extra when there's this much to choose from, and it really shows that the band have put some thought. If you'd like a more in-depth analysis of the album, rather than me just rambling on about the pretty colours, you can find that as an episode of our podcast. That was 2 Track Mind. We're also on Instagram and Twitter, just by searching 2 Track Mind Pod, and we regularly post little tidbits of an episode or funny things we found. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully there'll be more to come. Get back in your box.